musta lär vi höra i musta. Roma invicta. Ad gloria, ad fortitudinem, fidelitatem et victoriam a Roma. Sumus melius cunctis, ad gloria, ad fumulus nihil et mors a Roma. Fallimur carissima. Sol non praesumet ave calcio in auribus meis urbem diligimus, et omnia eius edixit apud Valerius, et mulieres in oculis Zaccae annos agimus, ubi optamus esse sepulchri Roma invicta.
Hey, Ave Legionnaires, how's it going? How's it going? It actually worked out pretty well. I was gonna do a couple little odds and ends around the house before we started, but that's fine. I can knock that out later. Oh, thank you for the... Oh, welcome in, Zenith. How's it going? Good to see you, buddy. But yes, we are... Did my music die? Hang on. There we go. We'll get a little background music. There we go. There we go. But yes, I decided, because I had no intention of doing a 150 follower celebration, but I needed an excuse. I needed an excuse to try some disgusting garbage. So Vic, and thank you for the raid, by the way, Vic, much appreciated. So to alleviate some of your suffering here, Vic, I'm going to be trying the Big Arch from McDonald's. The famous one where the CEO looked like he was about to, like, die of disgust from eating his own product. As well as the fucking Shamrock McFlurry, as you can see to the top of my head there. Oreo Shamrock McFlurry. Oh god, haven't set up yet, so I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Oh god. Okay. But yeah, I was trying to do this with the side, but I know he's a little bit burnt out on the fast food slop that we were doing. So, 150 follower stream was just a good excuse to do this after I get done eating all this garbage, as well as, oh fuck, I forgot about this thing too. Dubai chocolate strawberry cotton candy. Fucking hell. And the only reason I bought this is because thankfully this stupid fad seems to be dying, and I was at the like World's Food Marketplace where they were like they got like the jump start on this. And now that they're kind of not selling their stock at like $20 a bar, this was half off. It was still $10, which is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah. Oh god, yeah, 5-star. It has to be good. It's from Dubai too. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's all gonna be awful, I'm sure. So yeah, we're gonna try everything here. And I did want to watch the McDonald's CEO eating the burger, because that shit is hilarious, as well as the other CEOs that just put him to shame because they're able to at least pretend to stomach their own sloth on camera. Then afterwards, I do not know what I'm gonna do. Probably just gonna be, because it's Big Sloppa content. It's Big Sloppa content, so I think I'm just gonna do some React slop. Came to say hi, but I go lurk. Hey, no worries. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Okay. God. Okay. So this is supposed to be the McFlurry. The Oreo Shamrock McFlurry is supposed to be green, and it is just like regular vanilla. So I'm already very disappointed by this. I am already very disappointed by this. I want, before all of the horrific food dyes are made illegal in this country, which I am grateful for. We seem to be moving in that direction. But until then, I want to be able to enjoy all this horrific shit that will, like, completely destroy my liver. But no, we can't have fun anymore. We have to get in line with the rest of the world with at least some of our food standards. Okay, let's see here. Huh. Yeah, I mean, it's just like really bad grocery store ice cream with crumbled Oreos. So, fun. Crappy chocolate that makes the Belgian make cry. Yeah. The Dubai chocolate thing, I mean, we've kind of had our like discussion on that. It's like, yeah, it's theirs. Like, it's. I imagine that whole thing came from their board of tourism, and maybe because they're trying to cover past atrocities, like Belgium. I kid. But I did find that funny that there's actually a brand of chocolate called Leopold II. I didn't realize that until like we were talking about that when I shared that like that meme post with you on the server. That seems like a bad optics choice to have a chocolate brand named after Leopold II. I'm just saying, like, you can have like controversial like figures that people like or dislike, but Leopold II just seems like an overall really bad choice. I can't imagine he's very popular. Compost bin. What's wrong with that? All right. Fair enough. All right. Yeah. Man. Especially Leopold chocolate isn't really. Oh, so it's like tourist chocolate then? That's the shit that's like sold in the international market. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wish I had something else to say on the McFlurry. I've given my analysis on it. I gave it a few more bites to think like, oh, maybe I'll get like some hints of calcium sodamate or some other shit in here, but I just got nothing. I got nothing. Yeah, just crappy, like, this is like great value Walmart brand ice cream with crumbled Oreos, so fuck it, we'll just move on to the big arch. Oh wow, this is a burger. This is a burger. Like, you hear the inflection in my voice? Because, like, there's been times I've gotten burgers, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a burger. Like, this is a burger. Oh god, okay. So from what I understand on this one, it is the creamy big arch sauce, which is apparently like mustard based with, you know, canola oil or whatever slop is on there. Lettuce, 2 patties, white cheddar cheese, which, yeah, I like white cheddar cheese, that's fine. And sesame seed and whatever this other thing is bought. Our biggest names are or Milka Leonidas. Oh! Okay, I've had Leonidas chocolate. I don't know if that was Belgian or Dutch. I imagine they probably get it from Belgium, because that was kind of a big thing over in the Netherlands. There was a couple places that sold it, and my friend was like, oh, if you see a Leonidas chocolate, you should grab it. You know, have some while you're here, and then, like, take some home with you. And yeah, it was really tasty. I like Leonidas. Yeah, that was really, really solid chocolate. $15 for the big arch. Yeah. Mine was only a mere $9.50, because I guess the location I live in. I live out in the middle of hillbilly nowhere. Well, kind of. So, it was 50% off. And I was the owner, Pinsky. Welcome in. Okay. Oh yeah, and I forgot the little, like, onion chips or crumbles or whatever the fuck these things are. They keep sliding off. Alright, let's do this. Let's fucking do it. Huh. Oh, it's fine. Hey, Derek. How's it going? Um, huh. You know, it's not bad. It's not bad. Would I get this again? No, because it was almost $10 for one burger. When I can go to Culver's, because we have a Culver's in my area, and it is a better burger in every regard and the same price. And oftentimes I'll get coupons for 2 double deluxe burgers for buy one, get one free. So it's 2 burgers for $10. Yeah, average fast food and cheap. Exactly, yeah. That's the great thing about living out in the boonies. A lot of things are way cheaper, until sometimes they're not. Like if you like go deep in the country, everything's way more expensive. Because, you know, supply lines and whatnot. And like the mega deep country where it's like nothing but Dollar Generals, you're paying out the ass for everything. But generally speaking, it's a lot cheaper. But yeah, do another one here. Put some onion crumbles on it. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, the mustard cream sauce is pretty good, actually. Yeah. Really not bad. Really not bad at all. Now, oh, there we go. I realized I accidentally set both tracks to play at once there, so that was probably a little bit cacophonous. Just checking out my local McDonald's even have this thing. Interesting. Because from what I understand, it is a limited time product in the States, but it is a full-time product in the UK, and also it's supposed to be regularly showing up in Europe now, and they're planning on keeping that as like a fairly regular menu item depending on the country. But yes, if you do get it, you should, if you can find it, you should absolutely try it, Vic. It is. It's really not bad. We're definitely gonna have to watch the video of the CEO nearly having a panic attack after taking one bite from the sandwich, because, you know, this guy, you know, makes tens of millions of dollars every year. So he's in the situation where, like, he only eats, like, you know, fucking caviar and 3-star Michelin restaurants. But, yeah, overall, I can't really complain too much about it. It's McDonald's. You know what you're getting into. You know you're not going to have an amazing experience. And you're going to pay way too much for it. But, yeah. I have had far, 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 far worse experiences with a fast food product. This isn't even like, yeah, there's no like, you know, human fingers. There's no blood in it. You know, it's not a true horrific fast food experience. It's just kind of like, yeah, had something subpar and paid way too much money for it. So, let me see if I can find that video, because I don't know if there's like a dedicated YouTube video for it. It's something, maybe a burger. It is, yes. That is a good way to describe it. McDonald's CEO eating burger, first thing that pops up there. I don't want to watch the news version of it. Just show me I just want to see the full clip. Okay, I think this is it here. No, can I get it? Can I get it not YouTube Shorts? Okay, there we go. All right. Let's watch this poor bastard suffer. Oh, are we not? Application. There we go. No? Hmm. The application audio should be capturing here. Oh god. It's gonna be a pain. Yeah, let's see here. Let's try window capture. That might do it. Hey, Wise, how's it going? Oh, don't worry. Yeah, we will hear his suffering. Don't you worry about that. All right, let's try it now.
Chris K here.
There we go.
You've heard about it. Here it is, the big arch. This is something that we have.
Just look.
You've heard about it. Here it is, the big arch.
Oh, you could just see like the wrinkles in his face. Oh my god, the poor bastard. He knows what he's getting into. Going all right. Just got back from the store. How's everyone? Doing good. Aside from eating a bunch of not even terrible slop, just McDonald's slop. I thought it was going to be far worse than it actually is, but since I made it through it here, and I'm still going to be snacking on it, but since I made it through it, we're going to be watching the CEO try to eat his own food, and then the other fast food CEOs completely making him look like an asshole.
This is something that we have tested already in Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First,
oh my god, it's so good.
God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it.
Oh my god, we're not even 30 seconds in. The fakeness, it's amazing. He is so disgusted looking at this thing. Like this is a man who came from, actually I'm gonna be autistic about this here. Let's see. I want to look up his pedigree. I want to see where he came from. Because he, like, so many people who end up in like the C-suite aren't actually involved with the companies that they are supervising. They come from other companies that are just kind of one of those deals where it's like, oh yeah, you made this other company like kind of successful, or you didn't drive into the ground and you're kind of bored of this company. Come work with us. Let's see. Let's see. Previous employment. He worked. Oh, interesting. So he was. He filled multiple senior roles with Kraft Foods, so another slop food company. PepsiCo, also another slop food company, and slop soda company. Boston Consulting and Procter and Gamble, but those were like in the 90s. So no, he has spent most of his time working with slop food. Interesting, and he doesn't have the stomach to at least look excited and to pretend to enjoy the products that he is selling to, well, not just America, but the international market, because these are international companies. Yeah, fun with Arch. I'm going to do some Dutch chowder. Have fun with that. Yeah, very unique. Fun with yeah. It's like, buddy, yes, it has more sesame seeds than like other buns, but this isn't novel. This isn't like it has like cheddar cheese baked into the bun or something like that. Which, I mean, that would also kind of be a knockoff of like Red Lobster's cheddar bay biscuits, but still, it'd be something. God, this just gets weirder and weirder.
We've got two kind of cow. Got this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger.
Holy
We've got
cow.
A very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it. We've got 2 quarter-pound patties.
We had bun with bacon. Ooh. I can see that being really good or really bad. Depends on how they actually bake it. I can see the bacon bits getting dried out really badly. But yeah.
A delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course some lettuce. So, oh, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, the moment of truth. That is so good. That's a big bite for a big arch. It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it all.
Is he just insulting his own company? Oh my god. Oh, it's distinctive. It's distinctive. It's like whenever I have like whenever I'm visiting like a neighbor or someone who like only drinks like Bud Light or some other like domestic piss water beer. 'Cause you know me, I'm a craft beer snob. I like my craft beers, I like my foreign beers. When someone drinks like Bud Light or something like that, and like that's all they have, I'll drink one to be polite at that point. It's just like I'll always just say, oh, it's very refreshing. It's very refreshing. Yeah, because it's drinking fucking water at that point. Man has never eaten a burger. Yeah, you can feel it. Like he's scared to touch it. This man is like worried that it's going to like infect his bloodstream. There's a genuine concern with the way his fingers kind of finically. Yeah.
Try. And of course, some lettuce. So, oh, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much.
Love it.
Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out.
Oh.
All right, the moment of truth. That is so good. That's a big bite for a big arch.
That is a tiny bite.
Distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product. You've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness. But
product. I love it. It's not a delicious burger. It's a product. Because that's what he is. He is a product manager. He has no concept of things being food or delicious. This is a product. You will consume product and you will enjoy product. You will pay $15 for the product and it will nourish you for 30 minutes because it's mostly carbohydrates and processed seed oils. And yes, the beef is actually beef. That's pretty well proven at this point, but it's also cooked to shit. Most of the nutrients have just been pulled out of it, but with the way they cook it. Yeah, that's a tiny that bite is pathetic. This is what's the way I want to describe it? It's not exactly a manly man type. Just like the little bird bite there. Like, I tried it, so good. It's so yummy, guys. U.S. light beers are like making love in a canoe. It's fucking close to water. It really is. That's one area where it's just like, man, I really wish that industry was like. It's so omnipresent. There's no way to get out of it. And unfortunately, the craft beer scene is kind of dying a little bit too because there's a huge hop shortage. So a lot of the hoppy beers are getting killed off or becoming like really watered down. A lot of people are switching over to drinking like hard seltzers, which are also disgusting. I don't understand why people like them so much. But yeah, it's just present. Like once in a while, people who do the light beers will branch out and they'll get like a shock top wheat or something where it's like, oh, well, that's something. It's not Bud Light. It's not much better because it's also owned by Bud Light. Bud Light also owns a surprising amount of craft beers, which sucks. And you can tell which ones are owned by Bud Light.
Those crispy onions as well gives a nice texture. But it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product. You've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness, but those crispy onions as well gives a nice texture. And of course, we've got the pickles. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my lunch. But Big Arch, try it when you can get it.
Oh, I like how he just describes like the items that are on it. It's like, yeah, it's got pickles and it's got cheeses. So it's got white cheddar. You should know that it's white cheddar. That's exactly what it is. It's white cheddar. Just notice Bud Light is owned by, yes. Yes, that whole thing is really weird. I don't know how like it ended up getting owned by a Belgian company, but yeah, from what I've heard, that's a thing. And it's also strange that they're just, well, I guess for them, they're big enough that they can kind of let the American domestic breweries be like their cash cows, and then they can kind of focus on their like fun novelty projects if they feel like it. All right, I'm worried that this is going to be, so yeah, I want to do the meme with all the CEOs. But there's like a really bad like Zoomer edited one there that has a bunch of stupid React GIFs on it. So I'll see if this is the one. Yeah, I think this. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one that has a bunch of cringe on it. Okay.
Chris K here.
No, we're not watching this. It is TikTokified as hell. Do we have probably use the U.S. market as regular? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe these. This only has. I hate this fucking Zoomer editing. We don't have to have reaction gifs. Oh, look, it's the little black boy. He's just like, oh, that's crazy or whatever. Like, no, can we just have it where we just watch each of the city CEOs go like they each have their reactions? Can we just do that? No. Okay, let's do the
Heard about it.
Let's do this one. This looks like it
Chris
has.
K here with.
No, it's all the same. Damn, that sucks.
Chris
Okay.
K here.
Nope.
Chris K here with. Chris K here with.
Nope. Okay. That's a bit of a bummer. That's a bit of a bummer. I was hoping we could see all the reactions. Let's see here. Any reaction Subway Surfers on? Oh God, yeah. You know what? Fuck it. We'll just watch the Al jokes video because it's really funny.
Hi, my name is Tim Butthole, President and CEO of McDonald's, and today we're going to be trying the new burger. Come enjoy lunch with me. Delicious.
We're gonna need a bit more than that.
Okay. But do we?
Yes.
Why? I did what you asked. I ate the thing. I became one of the people.
Did you swallow it?
Yes. What's the point of this? To be relatable? I'm a fucking billionaire. How many billionaires do you know like McDonald's?
I don't know any billionaires. I don't know what they like.
Well, they don't like McDonald's.
Well, then what do they like?
Let's take another bite.
No, what? Who eats a burger like that?
I don't know how to eat this shit.
The CEO of the largest burger company in the world. You need to know how to eat a burger.
No, I'm the CEO of a company that just so happens to be a burger company. I'm a CEO, not a burger CEO. Oh, look at this. This is my resume. This is what I did before I was a McDonald's CEO. Procter & Gamble, brand management. You know what Procter & Gamble makes? Everything except food, unless you consider Tide Pods food.
I don't.
Well, teach their own. Then Harvard Business School, then did consulting, then worked for PepsiCo, where I was a vice president of marketing for non-carbonated beverages division of North American Beverages. Does that sound like the job title a kid dreams of? To one day be the vice president of marketing for non-carbonated beverages division of North America Beverages. Or
God, I
does
love how
sound
specific
more like
that
a
is.
serial business person climbing his way up the corporate ladder? I'm a businessman. CEO of McDonald's is just the highest position in the biggest company I know. I don't know what this is. I mean, what is this? I mean, what was this sat on? Did the white gentleman from DoorDash do this?
Oh man, you really don't know.
That's insane. I mean, is this paper? And of course, you can't eat a burger without our farm to fresh. What the is this? This looks like my in 40 years.
Try 20.
Why is this so limp? Fries are not supposed to sag like this. How much was all this, by the way, this meal?
$27.
Yeah.
$27 for a burger, fries, and a drink? This is supposed to be affordable. What a scam. Who's responsible for this pricing? I'm just with you. On to burger number 2.
No!
What?
You can't use a stunt double. Where's the guy? You can't use a stunt double.
Why not?
Where
Yeah,
did he
those
get-
fries are absolutely despicable. Like they're in. I mean, fast food fries are always going to be a little bit subpar, but there are some good ones out there. Like Five Guys fries, holy shit! Oh, like that's the thing is I don't really eat a whole lot of French fries just because they're horribly unhealthy for you. Because potatoes are actually quite healthy, but like all the nutrients get cooked out of them whenever you deep fry. But oh my god, Five Guys fries, give it a big old bag cooked in peanut oil. Oh, it is so good. I was gonna say, do you guys have? Because I know that the Netherlands has Five Guys. They actually have a few of them over there. I'm curious if that's over in Belgium as well, because I imagine that's Had fries in the U.S. that make me want to hurl. McDonald's are not. Yeah, very few. Yeah, yeah. It's so much of it is just going to be depend on like what it's cooked in, because it's very common. Most fast food places in the States, because we still use, well, a lot of countries use seed oils, but very sparingly. We have a ton of seed oils that are used in just like kitchens, like like restaurant kitchens everywhere. And thankfully that's being pushed out. Particularly the government right now is really has a hard on for getting rid of seed oils. I'm like, thank God, get rid of this fucking shit. Trying to get things back to like peanut oil, beef tallow, those kind of things that are like more natural and just like they taste so much better. Like beef tallow fries, oh, so good, so fucking good. Nope, no five Guys. I was gonna say, unfortunately, since you're not gonna be going back to the States, you won't get a chance to try. But Five Guys is like one of those really like they do things right, because they have a very tiny menu. Their menu is two burgers, the little burger, which is one patty, and the regular size burger, which is two patties. They do fries. You can get those regular or Cajun style, and they have milkshakes. That's it. Everything they do is like cooked to order, made there in front of you. You get as many toppings as you want. They're not extra. Burgers and fries and the shakes are quite expensive, but what you get is very good. That's a little trivia. Look at McDonald's. Cannot have takeout. It's eat it. Huh. That seems to kind of defeat the purpose of a fast food place, but if they're still working, I mean, okay. I guess if they get enough people going through the doors, then more power to them. Just seems odd. Okay.
Stunt double.
Craigslist? If you're like,
What? You can't use a stunt double. Where's the guy? You can't use a stunt double.
Why not?
Where did you even get a stunt double?
Craigslist? If you're like me, you probably take massive bites and finish this whole thing in only 3 bites. Bon appetit.
Stop! What are you doing?
One-throating it?
Just eat it normally. What's the worst that can happen?
Okay.
Just looking at the shopping street, they don't.
Oh, God.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, is that even food? Jesus, I need something to wash it down.
Easy. That's Sprite. You don't want to drink it too fast.
Relax, I know how to drink. Somebody like here? Okay. It's so,
Open up.
it's so gay.
You put worse in your mouth. Come on.
Okay, all right, true.
More. Big one's coming. Come on. Come on. One more. Come on. You can fit more.
Hot and you probably don't have to feed me for this one, because I don't think this one I might just be like.
I have to feed you.
Okay.
That's not enough. That's disgusting. Come on.
Bob. Bob.
You gotta mix it up in your mouth. Pieces. Come on.
Oh, Mom. Oh my fucking God.
Oh, why can't you on your own hand? What the fuck?
They had fun making this.
Show the hand.
Oh,
What
God.
are we doing?
Oh, God. Okay. So I am going to grab a drink here because my drink was essentially the McFlurry. I don't need a full be right back. I just need to grab a drink so I can get the sweetness of the McFlurry out of my mouth so I can try, Jesus Christ, the strawberry cotton candy Dubai thing. So I'll be back in 1 second. Actually, I think I'll do another bite of the big arch here. Get all the wheat out of my mouth here. Okay, yeah. Wait, there's a new Whopper? Oh god, I'm not trying that. I got my limits on that shit. Jesus Christ. Alright. The fuck? Why is there a piece of glue here? Please tell me that didn't come from the burger. No, I think that was the inside of the container for the Dubai chocolate. Alright. Alright. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. What the fuck? The fuck? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get a picture of that before we, before that is consumed. Before product is consumed. Jesus Christ. Glue, it might very well be. It could be part of the sauce. Wow, that actually shows up really well on the camera. Okay, one second. Yeah, this is the bar. This is the actual bar of chocolate. Yeah, it's actually legitimately pink. So, I get the feeling it's not actual, like, ruby cacao. It probably is just, like, white chocolate that they've dyed pink with something. Oh, alright. Christ. Maybe it'll be like the last Dubai chocolate I had, where it's like, oh, I mean, it's pretty good. It's fine. It's good. I just wouldn't pay, you know, $20 for it. All right. Oh, and it broke the wrong way too. Oh. Whoa! What the fuck? Oh, this is awful. Oh, it fucked up. Oh, that fucked up bad. Hang on. I need to actually, because like, okay, with the normal Dubai chocolate, at least it kind of like cleanly snaps, because it's just like the shredded wheat and pistachio stuff. This is like just goo. It's like hard goo. It's like nougat and like some other shit here. I need to grab a knife to actually like cut a piece here, because the core, or the shell broke. I'm gonna kill someone for making. Yeah. Court martial sentenced to hanging with a fire squad. Damn, dude. Your Belgian honor's been offended deeply. All right, back in 1 second. See, this is one of those I wish I could just do like a camera here, but I'm way too paranoid about like doxing myself. So I'm just gonna take update pictures to just show you guys the process. So yeah, this one I'm gonna send here. This is the shell having been broken, and just seeing the inside here. Google Photos, you gonna update here or not? Yeah, we're just gonna fill up the screen with these. I think that's where we're at here. I will move them up. There we go. Yes. God, that looks even worse with the good lighting on it. Oh man. Yeah, because see, I actually tried to break the front piece off. I grabbed the edges here, and it just sort of snapped in the middle. So yeah, that's kind of the problem with making another absolutely ridiculous chocolate. It's not even fucking Dubai chocolate. It doesn't have the shredded wheat and the pistachio. This is just some other homunculi monstrosity. So yeah, this is where we're at now. This is where we're at. I'll just cut the pieces off. Oh my god. And this is not cutting well with the knife either. This is awful. Oh, now, okay. Finally got it to cut. Fine. Jesus Christ. Come on. Jesus. There we go. And here I was thinking, oh, the Archburger is going to be so bad, the Dubai chocolate's going to be the relief. No, this is, I saved the worst for last from the looks of it here. All right. Oh, fuck, that's awful. Oh my god, it's so bad. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Oh. Oh my god. I'm not fucking playing this up either. I'm not doing this for a meme. Jesus Christ, this is terrible. Strawberry cotton candy. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Now I remember when I saw these, it was the local DIY store, the brick cheese. Yeah. Oh. Okay. All right, I'll post the physical evidence of me taking a bite. Look, here's the thing: is I spent $10 on this, so I feel the obligation to like eat it over the course of the next few weeks or something. But I really don't want to, because it's just gonna be like, this isn't like a good quality like dark chocolate where it's like, oh, it's slightly indulgent, but it's still overall pretty healthy for you. This is just garbage. And I'm not gonna get anything out of eating this garbage, so I'm gonna just like eat a couple pieces for this, and then I'm probably gonna throw this shit out. As much as I hate wasting food, genuinely, this is not worth it. This is just not worth it. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I took a bite out of it. God. Oh, it's a huge yeah. It's not even like the brand, the chocolate. They just say, oh, it's Dubai chocolate, just because it's like got a vaguely chocolate shell. And again, I'm sure it's not ruby cacao. This is like the cheapest, shittiest white chocolate they poured over. It's like dehydrated strawberry paste or something, and then like a nougat they call cotton candy, which is not fucking cotton candy. Cotton candy is supposed to be light and fluffy. This is like really shitty nougat. Oh. Wow. Holy fuck. Don't feel bad. Yeah. That's the way I gotta look at this, is that I'm not really wasting anything. Oh. Alright, just finish it off. Oh. Like, who the fuck made this? Oh. It thought like people would like it. Look, this is just for like social media clout at this point. Like the Dubai chocolate, again, I will say it's a decent chocolate. It's not great, but it's decent. It's something you could eat on camera and still smile doing it. I could not fake a smile for this. Oh. Oh, thank God that's done. Okay. This bar has 8 sections in total, and I ate 2. The rest of this is just getting thrown out. Fuck. That's something I rarely do. Ever. My grandma, when I stayed with her, like, she was a sweet lady, but she would lose her shit if you wasted food. Like, even if it was like cheap, shitty, like ramen or something. She had no tolerance for that. So I was like, that was like ingrained for me as a little kid. You don't waste food ever. Did you buy Elite made this? Give reporters as a dead man's. Yeah, they have to inflict as much cruelty as possible. Or maybe they give it to the Indian slaves that are, you know, or sorry, I mean the foreign workers. Wow. Yeah. That's like genuinely not sitting well with my stomach, and I can tell it's not from the big arch or the McFlurry. It's from this thing. Oh my god. Okay. Wow. So, damn. Yeah, that's hitting me a little bit. That is hitting me a little bit there. Oh, okay. I'm thinking, where is the liked videos now? Do they have the playlist? Oh, damn it. I'm looking for the, I had a playlist for tasting history, Greek and Roman meals. I figure we'll watch a little bit of that because we're only 45 minutes in. Yeah, I figured that's a good that's good content for me to react to if I'm gonna do react slop. Let's see. Nope. Hey, YouTube. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, mute. I don't know how they got unmuted there. Playlist. Let's see. Oh, did the playlist get deleted? Is that why it's not showing up? All right. Weird. So yeah, the playlists only seem to show my content. Weird. All right. Yeah, I know I had that saved. Oh, hang on. I think I know. I think I know where it's at. Let's see here. Well, maybe I do. Nope, that is not it. All right. Fuck it. I'll just look them up manually. I apparently I can't be that lazy. I can be a little bit lazy, but I can't. I have to put some thought into this stream. Sadly enough, it can't be a true. It can't be a true slop react. Yeah, because this looks like binge every. Yeah, that's every episode. Okay, that's. All right, yeah. Let's do the honey pork. So I think this is the one that actually inspired one of my friends. A slight detour, I guess. But a friend of mine, I showed him Tasting History of Max Miller, and he, I believe, watched this episode. Then he got inspired, so he bought an entire suckling pig. I think he paid like $150 for it, and followed the recipe got it to roast. And then we had like a little get together at my place, invited some people over, had that and some other Roman style food, and it was quite good.
If you wanted to play the big shot, El Jefe, at a dinner party, what would you serve? Champagne? Caviar? Lobster, perhaps? Well, not in ancient Rome. You gotta think more along the lines of honeyed dormouse, or flamingo tongue, sow's womb even, or perhaps a roast pig stuffed with honey and tracta. And that is exactly what we're making today. We'll also take a look at one of Rome's most infamous, if fictional, culinary show-offs, as we take a seat at Trimalchio's feast, this time on Tasting History.
Yeah, so note to start out there, he brings up caviar and lobster. I'm sure he knows this, but I find it funny that caviar and lobster are like this big thing nowadays, but those are seen as peasant food for like the longest time. I forget where caviar was like really common in, but lobster was readily available in a lot of medieval locations by the seas, rivers, that kind of stuff. And so peasants would just set out traps for them and grab lobster. And like, yeah, a wealthy person, a person of standing in a medieval court, would not be seen touching lobster.
We are in week 3 of Rome Month, sponsored by Total War Rome Remastered, coming out April 29th. It is a history-based strategy game that I loved playing in college, now remastered in all its glory.
Welcome in, Joseph. How's it going? Yeah, skip.
And just as Rome Remastered is played on epic imperial proportions, so is today's dish eaten on epic imperial proportions. From the Apicius dere coquinaria, porcellum assum tracto melinum, roast pig stuffed with tracta and honey. Gut and clean pig through the neck, then dry. Grind 1 ounce pepper, honey, wine, bring to a simmer. Crumble dried tracta and mix with the ingredients in the pot. Stir with a sprig of fresh laurel, then cook until smooth and thick.
Just gonna
Stuff
look
the
before
piglet with the
no
mixture,
worries, Joseph.
tie up, set in an oven, arrange, and serve. So you should feel free to tone this one down using a pork loin or some pork chops, but if you want to go whole hog, what you'll need is 1 suckling pig, 1 ounce or 28 grams of pepper. Now I can just hear you scoffing. Tut tut, surely a Roman ounce and a US ounce are not the same thing, Max. You have not thought this through. Tut tut. But, to paraphrase Salt and Pepper, let's talk about weights and measures. See, a Roman pound and a US pound are quite different. The Roman pound, or libra, which is actually why we still use LB to abbreviate pound,
Which we actually get quite a few things from Rome from that. A lot of abbreviations, turns of phrases, a lot of the way that we handle things all come from Rome.
was about 3/4 of a US pound. But a US pound is 16 ounces, while a Roman pound is 12 ounces. So do a little fancy math, and you will find out that there are 0.967 Roman ounces to a US ounce. Basically the same for all intents and purposes.
So that's actually really close.
Now, what I do think is kind of weird is how specific the recipe is in the amount of pepper. 1 ounce of pepper, but does not give specifics for any other ingredient. It's really quite aggravating. But for my recipe, I'm going to be using 1 cup honey, 2 cups or 473 milliliters of wine. I'm using white wine, but you can use whatever you want. 2 leaves of fresh laurel or bay. I actually couldn't find a bay tree anywhere. I did order one, but it's like this big, and so it's going to take months to grow enough to actually get anything off of it. So I did find fresh bay leaves, but it's not a sprig, it's just the leaves. So I'm using 2. And a bunch of tracta. Now, what is tracta? Well, it's sheets of dried dough made of unspecified groats, flour, and water. And Cato the Elder has a recipe that I'm going to follow. But there are actually kind of different variations depending on what groats and what flour you use. So I'm going to be making one version today and another version next week, because I'll have to use it again for next week.
I'm gonna say that sounds very much like hardtack, which I know that's one of his staples in the series too, is hardtack. But yeah, I guess, well, no, I guess the difference is, yeah, flour versus groat. I believe those are different things, but they do sound quite similar.
Week's recipe. But this week we'll need 3 cups or 500 grams of coarse grain semolina and 3 cups or 500 grams of fine ground durum flour, plus some water for soaking the groats. Now let's make our tracta. Put your semolina or the groats into a bowl and cover with water, and then let them sit for about an hour. They should soak up most of the water, but if there's a lot left over, pour that off and then start adding in your flour. You can add more water if needed, but this should be a very dry dough, so don't overdo it. Once all of the flour has been worked in, knead it until you have a nice smooth dough, then take off pieces and roll them out very thin. Now we are making a lot, I mean a tract of tracta, so it's going to take up a lot of space once it's all rolled out, but it needs to sit out for about a day to completely dry. You can also put it in a very, very low oven and it will dry a little bit faster, but don't cook it, just let it dry out. Once the tract is dry, break it up into a bowl. This is going to basically be like breadcrumbs in a stuffing. Then grind your pepper and add it to a large pot with the wine and the honey. Then mix everything together and set it over a medium heat until it's simmering. Then slowly add in the crumbled tracta and stir it in until smooth. Smooth is a relative term. I don't know how smooth they got it, because if they wanted it super smooth, then why wouldn't you just use flour? If you're using the ground tracta, there's going to be some pieces left to it, but it will kind of become a homogeneous clump. Then add your bay leaves or stir in a sprig of laurel.
I just finished that arch burger. Holy shit. Ooh.
And while that cooks, set your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 Celsius and get out your nice clean pig. Once the stuffing is ready, stuff it into the pig and sew him up. Then set in the oven, cooking for about 15 minutes a pound. You can also put a little bit of olive oil on him just to give him a nice sheen and darken him up a bit. Now while he roasts and I toast, hit that like button and subscribe as we sit down to that most infamous feast from the Satyricon, a dinner which boasts dishes that might put our poor pig to shame.
So I was interested when we had that little feast at my place, and my friend brought the suckling pig, because they don't really say anything about the eyeballs, so we just kind of left them in there, and yeah, they kind of they get cooked obviously, and they deflate. It looks really weird. It was kind of unsettling looking at. I suppose it would have been worse if we plucked out the eyeballs, because they didn't have to deal with the actual sensation of plucking an animal's eyeballs out. Yeah, they kind of pop. They didn't it wasn't like a hard explosion. It was just sort of like, yeah, they looked like they deflated. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they did pop. No one braved eating one of the eyes. I was a little bit bummed about that, because we had a small group of people over. One of the girls was incredibly weird. And she got us to crack its skull open and eat part of the brain. I had a small amount, but I was kind of nervous about that, because brain is the one organ of an animal that's actually typically very dangerous to eat, because a lot of pathogens can grow in the brain, and they oftentimes will not be killed off by intense cooking. They just won't. Their brain parasites can be really hardy. So I ate a tiny amount. She ate quite a bit more there. I was hoping she'd be the one to eat one of the eyeballs just to let us know what it was like, but she wasn't willing to do that apparently. So it was, yeah, things got a little bit weird after a few drinks, but overall the pork was quite tasty. Yeah. Brain is not safe. Not safe. I haven't died yet though, so I think it's fine. It's been 4 years. Yeah, brain worms. Yeah.
To the Satyricon, part satire, part adventure, part drama, and part adult erotica. Quite the literary smorgasbord. It's thought to have been written by Gaius Petronius, an aristocrat and courtier to the Emperor Nero in the 1st century.
Oh, you know it's going to be wild then.
Him classy.
Oh, he was the epitome of class. He actually advised the emperor on his daily outfit. And Tacitus, Plutarch, and Pliny the Elder all credit him arbiter elegantiarum, judge of elegance, the Tim Gunn of ancient Rome.
When did you go Grecian on us?
He was a man whose day was passed
do
in
bring
sleep, his nights
backwards?
in the social duties
Yeah, I
and
was going to
amenities
say,
of
I'm pretty
life.
sure that's a joke.
While the industry of others may rise one to greatness, Petronius had idled into fame. Nor was he regarded like the common crowd of spendthrifts as a debauchee and wastrel, but as the finished artist of extravagance. So basically, if you were poor and spent your days sleeping and your nights partying, you were lazy and debauched. But if you were rich and did the exact same thing, you were merely extravagant. And as someone who considered himself luxuriously extravagant
I love that. That's
due to his high
great.
status, Petronius did not care for those beneath him, especially when they tried to work their way up the ladder to meet him. And he used parts of the Satyricon as an indictment of these Roman social climbers, and none was more infamous than the character of Trimalchio.
Yeah, the poor need to know their
Trimalchio was
place.
a former slave who bought his freedom and then, speculating in the grain market, had become extraordinarily wealthy, just the kind of person that Petronius would detest. But while Eliza Doolittle had Henry Higgins to teach her that entering high society required more than just wealth, it required class, Trimalchio had no such tutor. He is portrayed as a boorish lout who wallows in his new money, And back then, before Lambos and Birkins became a thing, the way to show off your money was with food.
Yep.
So the main character...
Food or other slaves, which I do love the irony of Tremecchio, whatever his name was, very likely had a shit ton of slaves. And actually probably treated them extremely well. That's what's like really interesting, is like that the whole caste system in Rome was very, very fluid. And like the idea of like a former slave being able to like corner a grain market. Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely something that could have happened in Rome. Did it happen often? Not so much. You would see a lot of successful gladiators who were former slaves. And then there's the whole conversation about gladiators and how they were treated. They were treated extremely well, aside from, dying once in a while. But yeah, there was a lot of fluidity in class, which is really fascinating. But typically, slavery was extremely common, especially in the upper classes. But the kind of proof of your wealth is that even your slaves didn't have to work hard. There's one instance, I wish I could remember the royal family. I know this was during the time of Emperor Augustus, if I remember correctly. But one notable patrician family had the wife and husband each had 20 slaves, I believe, to dress them. But each slave was only responsible for various outfits. And that was it. Like, they just put together their outfits, had them ready to go whenever they were going to, whenever they were going to be, like, doing, like, formal events. And then just, like, they're like, oh, here's your outfit. And then they would dress them. And that was it. That was their entire job. And the rest of the time, the slaves didn't do anything. Wait a minute, Hoss, you say black people were slave? I know. We were told that slavery only happened in the transatlantic slave trade, and that it was evil Europeans that went directly to Africa and started capturing slaves instead of being sold to them by other slaves, or by other black people, I should say. A lot of them. That's how Western Africa became extremely wealthy, is through the slave trade, and they were able to afford a lot of really amazing goods and high quality weapons and medicine, and then we're able to take over large parts of Africa. But yeah, we don't talk about that because slavery was invented by white people. We all know this. It's all our faults, and we have to live in perpetual shame about the fact that we invented slavery. And yeah, it never happened before. Never happened before. Absolutely not. And it's not like it happens to this day either. Only the transatlantic slave trade. That was the only thing that ever happened in history. We were taught that in school.
Character of the thing, the way to show off your money was with food. So the main character of the Satyricon, an educated and well-pedigreed man named Encolpius, goes to Trimalchio's villa for a feast. He is completely taken aback by the murals on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. And there's definitely no slave trade going on right now in the Middle East or in Africa. Absolutely not. And there's also no white slave trade going on in, well, maybe less Ukraine these days, but there was a lot of that going on in Ukraine, at least before Russia hit. I mean, granted, a lot of those girls were ended up in, the Amsterdam red light district and other, like, sex positive areas where you're allowed to have prostitution and that kind of stuff. Not really sure what's going on with that now, but that was certainly a thing that was happening.
Which are all of Trimalchio, showing how he made his wealth.
Not classy at all.
Day class A.
Then Encolpius notes some of the foods set out for the guests. On the tray stood a donkey made of Corinthian bronze, bearing panniers containing olives, white in one and black in the other. 2 platters flanked the figure, on the margins of which were engraved Trimalchio's name and the weight of the silver in each. Dormice, sprinkled with poppy seed and honey, were served on little bridges soldered fast to the platter, and hot sausages on a silver gridiron underneath which were damson plums and pomegranate seeds. And by the way, Apicius, where our recipe for today comes from, has another recipe for dormice, and one of these days, if I can find dormice, maybe I'll make them. And maybe I won't.
Yeah, those are kind of a little bit
on one of the couches.
Those are a little bit painfully adorable. I mean, I know ultimately, like, animal's an animal kind of thing. I have a bit of a soft spot for rodents with being a hedgehog owner and all that, so I might struggle with the dormouse, but they are very tiny, and tiny things do tend to be delicious, so maybe that could... That's a
In
bit of a
ancient
struggle.
Rome, you would lie on sofas at a big feast while you dined, which would probably require a lot of Tums if I went, because I have terrible heartburn when I lie down after eating. At length we reclined, and slave boys from Alexandria poured water cooled with snow upon our hands, while others, following, attended to our feet, and removed the hangnails with wonderful dexterity. Nor were they silent even during this disagreeable operation, but they all kept singing at their work. A pedicure at a dinner party, distastefully extravagant, but not something I would turn down. Finally, after keeping his guests waiting, rude then, just as it is now, Trimalchio enters. He is carried in, surrounded in a nest of cushions, and he's showing off his rings and his gold and ivory arm bracelets as he picks his teeth with a silver quill. Friends, it was not convenient for me to come into the dining room just yet, but for fear my absence should cause you any inconvenience, I gave over my own pleasure. Though gracing him with his presence, he still continues to ignore them as he finishes up a game of dice. Trimalchio snapped his fingers. The eunuch, hearing the signal, held the chamber pot for him while he continued playing. After relieving his bladder, he called for water to wash his hands, barely moistened his fingers, and dried them on a boy's head. Charming. But now that he's there, the feast can begin.
Well,
and
look.
the food,
Maybe that slave boy's one job is to be the official, like, washcloth. Yeah, keep his hair nice and fluffy and well maintained, so it just acts as a washcloth. You know, if that's all he's got to do, hey, that's not a bad life. He can just wash his hair afterwards.
that are served are extravagant even for an ancient Roman feast. Peahen eggs made of pastry that, when opened, contained a fine fat fig pecker embedded in a yolk seasoned with pepper. He showed off his wealth by doing things like sending to India for his mushrooms, and if you asked for hen's
Eunuch
milk,
slave boy sounds
you
like...
would get it. Hens don't make milk.
Hmm.
A huge roast pig is brought out, and when his belly is
Really, I didn't think eunuchs were a thing on a certain island. And even then, I think it was mostly slave girls. But then again, it is Jeffy, so he may have been into slave boys too. He certainly... I mean, the man ate human jerky. He's probably willing to do a lot of things. But yeah, I was going to say, I don't think... Yeah, I think he just did what most, like, rich people do. He got, like, Latino servants, you know. That's just what you do, you know. You don't need to get super fancy with it, you know. Just Latino servants, yeah. A lot of shit, yeah. And there's also the ranch. People seem to, like, well, I mean, it's just now being discovered, but there was, like, he had his own, like, ranch in Nevada or something. And apparently there was a lot of shit going on there too. That may have been, like, a testing ground for, like, the girls. Ugh.
sliced open, sausages and meat puddings come tumbling out, and then bottles of 100-year-old wine come out, and Trimalchio cries, "Ah me, to think wine lives longer than poor little man. I offered no such vintage yesterday, though my guests
I
were
imagine it
far
was more exclusive.
respectable." I think we all know someone like this guy. He's very well written. Now, he wasn't right to mention it, because that's just rude, but he was right to care, because it was all about who was invited where and who showed up. That is how you measured success. Even the layout of where you sat on the couches mattered. It was all about status. But it was an implied status symbol, not something you actually mentioned.
Yeah, God forbid.
Well, that's just not classy. Though classy or no, there is one dish, or rather 12 dishes, that I would have loved to have seen from Trimalchio's feast. Basically, it was a giant platter with the 12 zodiac symbols and an adjoining dish for each.
Oh, I didn't realize the zodiac
Ram's
was
vetches
popular
on
in Rome.
Aries, a piece of beef on Taurus, the womb of an unfarrowed sow on Virgo, a bull's eye on Sagittarius. Get it? A bull's eye on Sagittarius, who was an archer? It's kind of clever, even if not very appetizing. Now, while all of this seems rather over the top, it is nothing in comparison with most of the rest of the Satyricon, because as I said, while it is a satire and part drama and adventure, there's a lot of erotic material in it that would really make anyone, including myself, blush. For example, the main character's name, Encolpius, literally means crotch, and he has quite the voracious appetite for all things carnal, but also has a problem with impotence. And this is one of the tamer things in the book or in the work. Not really going to go into all of the other things right now. It's not the place. However,
Coward.
I am going to link to an episode of one of my favorite podcasts, Literature and History, where the host goes through the Satyricon and talks about all of those wonderful little parts that will make you blush. Now, before we finish our own dish fit for a Trimalchian feast, take a look at this tasty little treat from Total War Rome Remastered. So you'll know that your pig is done roasting when he reaches about 170 Fahrenheit or 76 Celsius when a thermometer is stuck on the inside. Then set him out to rest for about 10 or 15 minutes and he's ready to
Heading off to
carve.
bed, host. All
My
right.
roast
I appreciate you
stuffed
coming and
pig
hanging out,
fit
Vic. It
for
was
my
fun.
own personal
Take it
feast
easy, man. Get
of
some rest.
Trinaxio. I'm actually really excited about this skin. It's actually my favorite part of any roast pig. It's so crispy.
That does sound like it has a good crunch to it.
Tear it off with my teeth. It's wonderful. It smells so good. And it cuts so prettily. I'm gonna try the stuffing first. That's peppery. But it's also sweet. Really like sweet and spicy. Like super peppery. So I'm curious because it took time for pepper to get to Rome from the east, but I leave my pepper to sit for months and months so I can still kind of use the same amounts. I'm curious if it wasn't quite as strong because it's very peppery, but it's also really good because it has that honey there to sweeten it up. The texture is odd. It's very chewy. It's not like bread stuffing at all, and I'm curious. I'm curious if this is how it was. You know, the recipe is only so specific, so you can't really know. But it's good. It's just the texture. It's not what I would go for. Now the pork, it just fell off the bone. It's looks so good.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to just like fuck up
It's
that pork.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's so moist, and it gets a little bit of the flavor of the stuffing, but not a lot. It's fairly pork flavored. But that's what I like. I just like a roast pig. You know, gonna get a roast pig. It tastes really good. And speaking of roast pig, I have a wonderful little quote that I want to share from Macrobius, one of my favorite ancient Roman authors, where he is talking about a roast pig that could have totally been served at Trimalchio's feast, but it wasn't. How disgusting just to list the sorts of food. Indeed, Titus, in his speech supporting the laws of Fannius, reproaches his contemporaries for serving Trojan pig, so called because it is pregnant with other animals enclosed within, just as the famous Trojan horse was pregnant with armed men. Definitely an Instagram-worthy dish, which you should probably follow me on Instagram, Tasting History with Max Miller, even though I'm probably not going to be making the Trojan pig. Now, next week, we are going to be making an early...
It's funny because, like, the whole thing with, like, the Roman legend is that the Romans were the escaped Trojans that survived the Trojan War and came to, like, eventually create the city of Rome over the course of several generations. So I can see how that might be a bit of a sore spot, but I feel like that'd be distant enough. So I imagine the offense is just the fact that, oh, you have something that's pregnant with another animal. Oh, that's so disgusting. Oh. So, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I definitely want to check out this one here. The Talking Cows of Ancient Rome, since we just did a burger thing.
Isichia Omen.
And I am going to grab another water here. I after that burger and after that bit of Dubai chocolate, I need something pure for my body, something to give me some actual hydration.
Tata, a very fancy way of saying hamburgers. or at least the closest thing that ancient Rome had to them. And that is what we're making today. So thank you to Blinkist for sponsoring this video as we make imperial hamburgers and marvel at the fact that ancient Rome had talking cows. This time on Tasting History. So this recipe is pretty much the closest thing that we have to an ancient Roman hamburger or meatball, because it's not terribly specific in exactly how to shape it, but it wouldn't have been served as a sandwich like a hamburger today.
Hamburgers.
But over on the channel Invicta, I will put a link in the description, they have a new video where they imagine what a Roman hamburger would be like if it was served like a modern hamburger, but only using ingredients that would have been available at the time. What would the bun be like? Does it have cheese? And what exactly would go on it? One of the cool things about the recipe that we have today, which is from Apicius, is that he calls for a very specific condiment to be served with it. Isicia aumentata, minced meat with caul fat. Chop meat and pound with white breadcrumbs soaked in wine. Pound pepper, garum, and myrtleberry if you like.
That's a nice
Shape
way to
the
season
meat
it.
with pine nuts and pepper placed inside. Wrap in the caul and cook served with carenum. That carenum is the condiment, and basically it's grape must or juice, sometimes wine, that has been reduced into a light syrup. So for this recipe, what you'll need is 1 pound or 450 grams of meat. Now the recipe is not specific in what meat should be used. In other similar recipes in that section of the book, he mentions squid and mussels and pheasant, peacock, and pig brains. Luckily for me, he gives us carte blanche in this recipe, so I'm going with beef because that's what we're discussing. A few large slices of stale bread crumbled up without the crust, about enough to make a cup. A half cup or 120 milliliters of wine, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of garum or another fish sauce, a few myrtle berries or juniper berries if you can't find myrtle berries. And the recipe says that you can or cannot use them, so if you want, just leave them out. A 1/4 cup or 30 grams of pine nuts, some caul fat, we will get into that ingredient later, and 3 cups or 700 milliliters of grape juice or wine. Now making these videos requires a beaucoup de research, and lately I haven't had time to really read anything that wasn't.
I sense an ad coming up.
Not complaining, but I am interested in things other than food and used to get a full membership.
Yep, there we go.
On to the burgers. So the first thing you gotta do is make that condiment carenum. It takes a little while. Just pour the grape juice or wine into a saucepan and set it over a low flame until it reduces down to about 1/3 of its original quantity. While it reduces, add your bread to a bowl with the wine and let it soak while you chop your meat into very fine pieces. Then add the meat to a mortar and take some of the bread and put it in the mortar as well. Then pound them together. Depending on the size of your mortar, you might have to do this in a few stages, but it's really cool because it actually comes out almost like ground beef.
Interesting.
In a clean mortar, grind half of the pepper, and if you're using myrtle or juniper berry, grind those in as well. Then in a bowl, add the meat and the spices and the garum and mix. Now at this point, the recipe says to add the pine nuts and pepper, and it's not specific if it's ground, so I can't imagine that you're biting into full peppercorns. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't want to, so I'm going to give them a light grinding to make them coarse. Then mix those in with the meat as well. Then you can shape them into either balls or patties. How you want to shape them is really going to depend on how you want to cook them, which we will get to later. For now, it is time for the caul, which is coming from inside the house. No, I'm just kidding. It came from the butcher. So caul fat is the thin web of fat that encases the internal organs of some animals. And it's often used to encase meat. And the great thing about caul, as opposed to other casings, is that it's fat.
I'm not fat, I'm big bone.
So in a recipe like this, where the meat is lean and there is no other fat added, that caul should melt when cooked and really flavor the dish.
Oh, interesting.
So cut a few pieces of caul and wrap it around the patties. It should stick to itself. Now before I cook them, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to Tasting History and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Now when it does come to cooking these, it's really up to you how you do it. They could have been boiled or fried or put over an open fire, baked even, or like I'm going to do, put in a pan over an open flame. See how that caul fat just melts? Perfect. Now as I cook these Isicia aumentata made with beef, let me tell you about these amazing Roman cows. The ancient Romans were all about their cattle.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
But with good reason, because these cows were very, very special. First of all, they were pretty much money. The very word for money is derived from them, for cattle are the basis of all wealth. Varro is referring to the word pecunia, which comes from pecus, which means cattle, and it's where we get our word pecuniary today. Etymological side note, my favorite type of side note, Varro also talks about how the word for Italy actually comes from the word for bull, Itali, and the name was bestowed because of the number and beauty of its cattle and the great number of calves. Though he also says the name could have come from Italus, which was a bull that Hercules chased up the peninsula from Sicily, and Aristotle completely abandons the bovine theme by saying it was named after Italos, which was an old legendary king. So, who really knows? Anyway, I digress. Now, besides being the literal word for cash, cattle were also a great way to make money. Cicero tells a story of Cato the Elder expounding on how best to make money in farming. There is a famous saying of old Cato's. When asked how best to make an estate most profitable, he replied, "Successfully raising cattle." And second best, raising cattle with some success. And third, raising cattle with little success. And fourth, raising crops. And when the questioner asked, "How about banking?" Cato replied, "How about murder?" Cato loved his cows, hated bankers, but loved his cows. And actually...
All right. As much as I despise the Catos, okay, he's won a few points in my book. Just to preface this is a joke. This is a joke, but murdering bankers, that sounds pretty good. I wouldn't mind that. In Twitch, that is satire. Satire.
With the exception of hauling firewood, his oxen received feast days off of work, which made them special, since there is no holiday for mules, horses, or donkeys. Well, that just doesn't seem fair. Now, while his oxen would work the farm, his cows would produce milk to make some of the healthiest cheese that the Romans knew, though it didn't agree with everyone. Of the cheeses which are made from milk, those made of cow's milk have the most nutrient, but when eaten are discharged with most difficulty. Now, there were different cows, and they were worth different amounts. Pliny the Elder says, "In our part of the world, the most valuable cattle are those of Epirus, owing, it is said, to the attention paid to their breed by King Pyrrhus of the Pyrrhic victory." Now, that cow was supposed to be rather large and impressive, but there is another impressive cow that both Pliny the Elder and Herodotus marvel at. Among the Garamantes are the cattle that go backward as they graze, the reason being that their horns curve forward. Therefore, not being able to go forward, since the horns would stick in the ground, they walk backward, grazing. I don't think I've ever seen a cow go backwards. Pretty sure they can't go downstairs, though maybe that's an old wives' tale. I don't know. Anyone got a cow? So now you're probably saying, well, okay, these cows are pretty cool, but no cooler than any other cow in the world. So what makes these Roman cows so special that you would devote an entire episode to them? Well, what if I told you they could talk? You're a liar. Livy records that in the year 461 BC, that the heavens were seen to blaze, and the earth was shaken with a prodigious quake. That a cow had spoken, a thing which had found no credence the year before, was now believed. Among other portents, there was even a rain of meat, which is said to have been intercepted by vast numbers of birds flying round in the midst of it. Meat showers, talking cows? Surely you jest. And I would agree if it was an isolated incident, but it's not. In 208 BC, Marcellus, known as the Sword of Rome, hesitated to go into battle against Hannibal due to some disturbing omens. Temples being struck by lightning, mice eating gold. And it was reported that an ox had uttered human speech, and that a boy had been born with an elephant's head. And Pliny confirms that it was not uncommon prodigy among the ancients for an ox to speak. Upon such a fact being announced to the Senate, they were in the habit of holding a meeting in the open air. Now you may wonder why the Senate would care about a talking cow enough to hold their meeting in the open air. And it was probably to go find out what political opinions the cow had.
It's like a cow's opinion. It's moo.
For during one election between Plautius and Hyrieus, it was noted we have the official record that the praetor reported to the Senate at Rome that it was a cow which said in Latin, Plautius, rather than Hyrieus. I love that he lets you know that it was in Latin, because any other language would have been far less impressive. And even if a cow did remain mute, they were capable of so much more. I know that it is from the putrefied body of cattle that there spring the sweetest bees, those honey mothers, from which the Greeks therefore call bees the ox sprung. His confidence leaves me in no doubt that it's true. Now you'd think that these chatty, apian-spawning bovine who created so much wealth would be treated like members of the family, and that was somewhat true until it came time for sacrifice.
Well, this is pretty awkward.
A bull to thee, Neptune, a bull to thee, beauteous Apollo. And of the many animals that the Romans sacrificed to the gods, cows, or specifically oxen and bulls, were considered some of the best. Bulls are selected as the very choicest of victims, and are offered up as the most approved sacrifice for appeasing the gods. Neptune tested, Apollo approved, and there were other gods who enjoyed their beef as well. First, the god Mars, though he actually enjoyed a varied diet called a suovetorilia, a pig, sus, a sheep, ovis, and a bull, taurus. It was originally used as a way to bless or purify land, much the way that we might use sage today, albeit a lot more expensive. And Cato the Elder gives us a very detailed description of what all had to be done.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have some commentary here, but I'm going to wait to see how he explains the sacrifice, because he may cover a lot of the same ground I will.
Including the prayer, Father Mars, I pray and beseech thee that thou be gracious and merciful to me, my house, and my household, to which intent I have bidden this suovetorilia to be led around my land, my ground, my farm, that thou keep away, ward off, and remove sickness, seen and unseen, barren and destruction, ruin, and unseasonable influence. And don't skip that part, because as Pliny says, without prayers, the sacrifice is worthless. Now, Mars was an agricultural god, but as he began to really gain fame as the god of war, which is usually how we recognize him now, the suovetorilia also became used to bless armies during times of war. And that actually brings us back to our other beef-loving god, Apollo. In 211 BC, as Rome was under threat from the Carthaginian Hannibal Barca, the first Ludi Apollinaris were held to secure Apollo's support for the Roman army. It was a day of equestrian games punctuated by dramatic performances, much like the halftime show at the Super Bowl. In later years, the games were extended to an entire week, starting on July 6th, the day that I am posting this video. So, 1, happy Ludi Apollinaris, and 2, I do hope that you pre-ordered your cow. Because during the games there were sacrifices, including a bull with golden gilt horns sacrificed to Apollo, and a heifer with gilt horns to his mother Latona, most famous for turning rude peasants into frogs after they wouldn't let her drink out of their pond, a story which continuously caught the imagination of 17th and 18th century painters. I do not know why. By the way, it was during festivals like this when most people got to eat beef.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's going over it. Yep.
It wasn't the most popular meat in ancient Rome, and for a lot of people it was actually kind of forbidden except for times of sacrifice when there was a lot of beef to go around. But you had to be quick and hope that there was not a guy like Milo around. This is what Milo was like. When at Zeus's feast, he lifted up the weight of a 4-year-old heifer and carried the huge animal lightly on his shoulders. In front of the altar of Pisa, he cut up into pieces of meat this unyoked heifer, and he ate the whole thing, all by himself. I bet he had a tummy ache after that. But I also bet he would have really liked the most cow-centric of Roman festivals. And it features yet another steak-loving god.
Yeah, but just to clarify the point, when they talk about sacrifices, yeah, you were able to eat the meat. This wasn't like the meat went to waste. I think a lot of people get that interpretation of like, oh, this is just meant to be, you let the meat rot. Like, well, no, you would definitely eat it, but it was dedicated to the gods. Now, in some circumstances, the actual offal of the animal, the organs, would be buried in the ground, but that was also not super common. And I think that may have been more of a Roman monarchy thing as opposed to the Republic and the Empire. I think they kind of were eventually like, yeah, that's just, the meat's going to waste. It's dedicated to the gods, it's good enough.
God Tellus Mater, Mother Earth. It began during the reign of Numa Pompilius, who was the second legendary king of Rome, and they had been having a bad time agriculturally. The god Faunus came to the king in a dream and said the answer was a sacrifice to Tellus Mater. By the death of cattle, Tellus must be placated. 2 cows, that is. Let a single heifer yield 2 lives for the rites. 1 cow, 2 lives. The answer? Forda, where the festival gets its name. Fordycidia was named for Forde cows. A Forda cow is one that is carrying an unborn calf, because on this day, several pregnant cows are officially and publicly sacrificed in the Kyrie. And Mother Earth was not the only lady who loved her beef.
Hey, where's the beef?
Because during the Empire, Magna Mater, or the Great Mother of the Gods, was often wooed with the taurobolium, a practice of sacrificing a bull adorned in flowers and gold. The later Roman Christian author Prudentius claimed that then they would take the blood and let it flow over them like a baptism. Though you gotta take whatever he says with a grain of salt when it comes to cows, because the early Christians had a rightful bone to pick with Roman cows. First, there was something called damnatio ad bestias, damnation to the beasts. It was a form of capital punishment most often reserved for military traitors, runaway slaves, and Christians, where the victim would be killed by animals, including lions and tigers and bears and bulls. Most famously, the martyred saints Perpetua and Felicity were gored by a bull in a North African arena. But even worse, in my book, was the brazen bull, a diabolical, if possibly fictional, torture and execution device,
it's so
where the
unnerving.
victim was roasted alive inside of a massive bronze bull. If it existed, it began in ancient Greece and Sicily, and only later on was used for Christians, most notably Saint Eustace. According to tradition, it was the Emperor Hadrian who ordered Eustace and his wife and his children to be roasted in the brazen bull. Though again, it might have actually never even existed. But just the idea of it is enough to put some people off beef. Though not me, because I'm ready for my Icichia aumentata. And here we are, Icichia aumentata. Let's give it a shot. I'm curious. Oh, it actually cuts through really easily. I kind of thought that the fat would like have some give to it, but it doesn't. It just, like I said, it just kind of melted in. It did caramelize, burn, around the edges. But yeah. And it's interesting because it really does look like a burger inside, albeit with pine nuts. Here we go. Beef with caul fat. Peppery. It's very chewy because it's not ground meat. It eats more like a steak.
Oh, interesting.
But it's good. I don't know if the caul fat like adds a specific flavor other than just fat. It smelled earlier. It kind of smelled like a butcher shop, but that unpleasant smell of a butcher shop. But you don't get it when you eat it. But now I'm going to add some of that carenum just to see what that does to it. It's nice and thick. I'm really excited for this. That's the way to do it. He's right. Apicius, or whoever wrote De Coquinaria, was right. It's got to have that condiment. It's super sweet against the pepper, and they just like, they work perfectly together. The garum does not, it doesn't overpower the flavor at all. It adds saltiness, so the other flavors really sparkle, but you don't get that traditional garum flavor as much as some other dishes that I've used it in. Overall, A-, not A+, A-, but it could totally be used as a burger or meatballs. I think actually better though as a burger because it does hold together pretty darn well. So whether you use caul fat or not, you should, but I do suggest that you kind of try to recreate some of this using some of the ingredients, especially that carenum. You could honestly, I could put that on a lot of things. I think it'd go really nice on some fish. Anyway, thank you again to Blinkist for sponsoring this video, and make sure to follow me on Instagram at Tasting History with Max Miller.
Very nice. Yeah, I think I am probably going to wrap up a little bit earlier here today. I have quite a few things I need to do around the house, and just feeling a slightly tuckered out here. So let's find someone to raid out to here. Now let's get this crap off me. Ooh. Okay, get rid of that. I want to get my area nice and cleaned up here. It's filthy right now. Get this garbage out of here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's see who we got. Let's raid into Abby. He's a good dude. So yes, I will see you guys Wednesday. I might be a little bit late. We'll see how things go. I do have some job, well, not job, but like future job prospect related things. Not like a job fair, but there's a thing going on at the school with some local employers. Gonna go to that. So I may be a little bit late, but should be on time for more Red Dead. So yeah, you guys have a good one, and I will see you Wednesday.